They say Islam is a religion of peace. But what if behind the veil of tolerance lies a mission far more ambitious? Not just spiritual guidance, but global conquest.
Destroying the lie that jihad is defensive only, showing you from authentic sources jihad is offensive.
In this video, we dig beneath the surface, uncovering ancient texts, bold declarations, and the undeniable agenda echoed by modern voices. This isn't opinion, this is evidence.
Then a rock will say, "O Muslim, here is a Jew behind me, kill him."
Prepare to see Islam in a way you've never seen before. This is not hate. This is truth, unfiltered. And the world deserves to hear it.
And the true believer knows that none of this is in vain, that this is all jihad, that this is all ibadah, and that this is all counted for by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Here, let's go into the proof. Does Islam teach that Muslims must conquer the world? Yes. What proof can we bring forth that the Islamic agenda is to conquer the world? Narrated Abu Huraira. While we're in the mosque, the Prophet came out and said, "Let us go to the Jews." Man, these guys don't even know how to write. They're supposed to put a period right here. We went out till we reached Baytul Midras. Baytul Midras, right? House of, well, Midras would mean house of learning, school, right? Midrash, drash, study. He said to them, if you embrace Islam, you'll be safe. Now notice, he just entered Medina. Let me give you a little background. Everyone ready? Let's learn. Muhammad supposedly lived in Mecca and then migrated north to what was called Yathrib. Yathrib. Why was it called Medina? Let me tell you a little about Islamic history. Now, according to Muslim sources, Yathrib was filled with Jews. There were several Jewish tribes, wealthy landowner owners who cultivated the land, and most of it belonged to them. Now watch. Muhammad migrates to Yathrib. First thing he does, the name is changed to Madinat al-Nabi. It went from Yathrib to Madinat al-Nabi, the city of the Prophet. You see what's happening? What Muslims are doing? They're not calling it Yathrib. They're now calling it the city of the Prophet. Medina city, Madinat al-Nabi, the city of the Prophet. Already telling you what his goal is. He's going to take over the city. It's his. You with me there? That's why when he comes to Medina, Yathrib, what does he tell them? He says, look, the entire earth belongs to Allah and His Apostle. That's why I want to get you out of this land. He comes in the land and he says, it's mine, because Allah said the whole earth is mine. That means your land is mine, right? Your fields are mine. Your property is mine. I own you. So if anyone amongst you owns some property, he's permitted to sell it. Otherwise, you should know that the earth belongs to Allah and His Apostle.
Now, this next clip is not taken out of context. It's from a respected Muslim scholar, teaching what is found in authentic Islamic tradition, a hadith often cited in sermons and textbooks around the world. It speaks of a day when Muslims will fight and kill the Jews, and even the rocks and trees will call out, saying, "O Muslim, a Jew is hiding behind me, come and kill him." This isn't fringe. This is mainstream, and it raises a chilling question. What kind of spirit inspires such a prophecy?
That he said, I heard the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam say that the Jews will fight you and you will prevail over them. Then a rock will say, "O Muslim, here is a Jew behind me, kill him." And in another narration, it says the hour will not begin until the Muslims fight the Jews and the Muslims will kill them, until a Jew hides behind a rock or a tree, and the rock or the tree will say, "O Muslim, O slave of Allah, there is a Jew behind me, come and kill him." Except the gharqad, which is a thorny tree, for it is one of the trees of the Jews. Now, when this rock and tree is calling the Muslim, what's he saying? Or what's that particular thing saying, the tree or the rock? Is it saying, Ya Philistini, or Ya Sudani, or Ya Pakistani, Ya Bengali? No. What's it saying? It's saying, Ya Mu'min, O slave of Allah, O Muslim. Because the rock or the tree knows that you're Muslim. It doesn't know where you'd come from, because it only recognizes your iman. Therefore, any battle that is waged under the banner other than La ilaha illallah is a lost cause. The Nasr will only occur when it is clear La ilaha illallah and that your identity is Muslim.
This is the agenda. The entire earth belongs to Allah and His Apostle. That's why Muhammad is not satisfied just living in the midst of people. No, he has to own it. Because notice what the subtitle is, the chapter, the expelling of the Jews from the Arabian Peninsula. Do you understand what you're seeing here? You understand what you're learning from the Muslim sources? You're told that Muhammad is not happy or satisfied just living, right, as one among equals with others. He has to take charge and control. Because in his sick, demonized, demented mind, his God, whom we know to be Satan, told him the whole earth is yours. The whole earth is yours. Okay? This is why, again, we are told in the Quran and the Sunnah that Muhammad was sent to fight and kill all mankind until they become Muslim. Right here. This is their agenda, folks. This is Islam. Muslims cannot live as one among equals. They're biding their time. They're biding their time until they are uppermost and dominant. Then they have to take over and control. Now, what Muslims am I talking about? The Muslims who know their faith, the Muslims who believe in their faith, the Muslims who truly love Allah and His Messenger more than anything, and are not ashamed of His teaching.
Now, if you think jihad is just a violent concept from centuries past, think again. In this next clip, a woman working with Zoran Mamdani's political campaign openly equates her activism with jihad, and even calls it ibadah, an act of worship. This isn't happening in the Middle East. This is happening right here in modern Western politics.
And the true believer knows that none of this is in vain, that this is all jihad, that this is all ibadah, and that this is all counted for by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so, the conversation of doxing, the conversation of getting arrested and suspended, I think it's time for Muslims to start to say, all right, so what? Do what you want. I'm gonna do what I gotta do, because it's about time to do that. And I know everybody has their own families and has an education and everything. Just a question. We don't want to get doxed, and we don't want to get suspended, and we don't want to get arrested. How gangsta are you? That's just my question. How much are you willing to do it? And I know everyone has their own risk levels, but at the end of the day, that's a question to ask ourselves. How committed am I to this? To what extent of my personal material gains am I willing to sacrifice for this bigger noble cause? And subhanAllah, I truly believe that when your heart is in the right place, if you get suspended, if you get doxed, because it's bound to happen when you're doing a righteous cause and when you're doing something for the sake of Allah here in the West, it will never ever be in vain. And the true believer does not fear that, because the true believer knows that the akhirah is a promise.
Did you catch that? What many see as political activism, she sees as holy warfare and devotion. This is how ideology spreads, not just by force, but by faith, language, and influence. And most people won't even notice until it's too late.
Sahih Bukhari, volume 1, number 25. Narrated Ibn Umar. Okay? Allah's Apostle said, I've been ordered by Allah to fight against the people until they testify that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, and that Muhammad is Allah's apostle. It is narrated on the authority of Abu Hurairah that when the Messenger of Allah breathed his last and Abu Bakr was appointed as successor, those amongst the Arabs who wanted to become apostate became apostates. It's in their own authentic sources. The apostasy wars. This is another proof that people became Muslim under duress and they didn't love Muhammad, couldn't stand Muhammad. What's the proof? Many Muslims don't know, and those who do, don't like to tell you that when Muhammad, Satan's son, died, many of the Arabic tribes left Islam and others stopped giving zakat, alms, to the leader, Abu Bakr. So Abu Bakr declared war on all of them. Those who left Islam had to come back or they'd be killed. Those who refused to give zakat had to give zakat or they'd be killed. Ibn Kathir said, Allah commands us to fight the kuffar, meaning unbelievers, disbelievers, so there will be no fitna, shirk. Notice what fitna is, what a trial is, what a disaster is, to have associates with Allah. And the religion will all be for Allah alone until you make Islam the only religion all over the world. So how can Muslims ever live at peace with anyone? If they truly believe this and they truly submit to this, they can never be at peace or love anyone until the whole world becomes Muslim.
What you're about to hear is deeply disturbing. A group of Muslim women not in a war zone, but in a calm setting discussing the 9/11's attacks and the London bombings. But instead of mourning the tragedy, they justify it, calling it a war against the enemies of Islam. This isn't radical. This is rehearsed. And it's more common than you think.
في الانفجارات اللي صارت في لندن وزعنا حلو كتير لأنه برضه هم هدول أعداء الإسلام وبيحاربوا بالإسلام.
بالنهاية هدفنا إنه أي إنسان أي بني آدم إنه يحارب الإسلام يكون عدو للإسلام وللمسلمين. بالنهاية إنه يعني يكون حلال واحد يعني إنه ينقتل يعني.
بالنسبة للتفجيرات اللي صارت أول مرة في أمريكا في 11 أيلول كانت لها ردة فعل لكل العالم الإسلامي إنه انبسطوا.
Quoting Muhammad, and he said, this is Muhammad, huh? I have been sent just before the hour with the sword. Muhammad, no, he's a peaceful prophet. No, I'm not. I was sent before the last day, before the day of judgment, with the sword, with warfare, with murder, violence, terror, so that Allah will be worshipped alone with no partner or associate. Now, is this a weak narration? No. Classed as Sahih by Al-Albani and Sahih Al-Jami' number 2831. Why are you guys asleep? Why do you actually think that Islam can coexist? Yes, Muslims who don't know Islam, Muslims who don't know Muhammad, Muslims who don't know the hadith can coexist with you.
You've seen the texts. You've heard the voices. This isn't fear-mongering. This is reality, straight from the sources in their own words. The agenda isn't hidden. It's spoken. And while many remain silent, we won't, because truth, no matter how uncomfortable, must be told. If this opened your eyes, don't let it stop here. Like, share, and subscribe so others can see what's being ignored. This isn't about hate. It's about awareness. And awareness is the first step to resistance.